The Florida League of Cities presents FLC Live at the Capitol Week 6. This weekly video update provides highlights of key legislative activities and showcases the League's advocacy in action. City officials from Chattahoochee came to Tallahassee to meet with legislators and advocate on behalf of their cities and the League's legislative agenda. The Florida League of Cities thanks each of them for their advocacy efforts.
Florida League of Cities that ensures that the citizens at the lowest level of government are always represented and got somebody looking out for the interest of the people. The government that's closest to the people is our city and county governments, and the Florida League of Cities is really somebody who looks out for that.
Now, on to developing issues. Committee substitute for Senate Bill 458 by Senator Jeremy Ring and Senator Rob Bradley passed the full Senate, while the House companion, committee substitute for House Bill 1399, is awaiting action by the House Appropriations Committee. Committee substitute for Senate Bill 458 was amended by Senator Miguel Diaz de la Portilla and Senator Jack Latvala to prohibit cities from negotiating police fire pension benefits that are lower than the benefit level that existed as of 1999 in each individual city. This is again the legislature dictating a pension benefit level for cities, rather than allowing cities and police fire unions to collectively bargain pension benefit levels. Many cities provided unsustainably high pension benefit levels in 1999. To keep existing plans sustainable, sound, and secure for current and future police and fire, cities must have the flexibility to negotiate a sustainable benefit level. The bill, as passed, prevents this from occurring. The bill also removes from law the statutory basis for the current Department of Management Services interpretation on the use of insurance premium tax revenues. The current DMS interpretation provides cities and police fire unions, for the first time since 1999, with the needed flexibility to collectively bargain pension benefit levels and use of insurance premium tax revenues for these benefits. Rather, as noted above, the bill now requires cities to maintain the unsustainable level of pension bills provided by the city in 1999. While the bill contains a narrow grandfather provision for cities operating in reliance on the current DMS interpretation, the bill effectively repeals the interpretation. Therefore, no new letters could be issued, and the current letters would no longer be effective after a date certain not to exceed 3 years. These bills do not represent meaningful pension reform, but rather a victory for police and fire unions. Due to the action by the Senate, the League is in opposition to both bills and urges you to contact your legislator to oppose the bills. Senate Bill 1192 by Senator Denise Grimsley passed the Senate Community Affairs Committee and is now headed to the Senate Appropriations Committee. This bill, which the League opposes, preempts the regulation of licensure, activity, and operation of pain management clinics to the state and prohibits cities from imposing a levy, charge, or fee other than the local business tax on pain management clinics. The League supports its companion bill, committee substitute for House Bill 831 by Representative Mike Fasano, which does not erode home rule authority with respect to the regulation of pain management clinic. Committee substitute for House Bill 831 passed the House Health and Human Services Committee and is now awaiting action by the full House. Committee substitute for Senate Bill 316 by Senator Nancy Dietert passed the Senate Appropriations Committee on Finance and Tax and is now in the Senate Appropriations Committee. The League supports this bill, which creates 2 new situations where out-of-state retailers that conduct business over the internet would be required to collect and remit Florida sales tax on sales made to Florida residents.
The bill amends Florida law to require out-of-state vendors that conduct business over the internet to collect and remit Florida sales tax on sales made to Florida customers.
2 bills supported by the League, committee substitute for House Bill 537 by Representative George Moraitis and committee substitute for Senate Bill 528 by Senator Wilton Simpson, that make revisions to the Community Planning Act provision addressing the Yankeetown lawsuit, saw significant movement during Week 6. This legislation allows cities such as Yankeetown that had specific initiative and referendum language for comprehensive plan amendments in their charter before June 1st, 2011 to remain in place. Committee substitute for House Bill 537 passed the full House, while the Senate companion, committee substitute for Senate Bill 528, passed the Commerce and Tourism Committee. The Florida Department of Transportation Comprehensive Agency Bill, committee substitute for Senate Bill 1132 by Senator Jeff Brandis, passed the Senate Appropriations Committee on Finance and Tax and is now in the Senate Appropriations Committee. 3 provisions were of particular concern to municipalities, allowing the DOT to conduct ancillary development in state-owned rail corridors that does not have to comply with local comp plans and regulations, requiring local governments to take potential noise from limited access roadways into account in their land use plans, or pay 50% of the cost of constructing any necessary noise walls, requiring local governments to remit 50% of the revenue from fees collected from parking meters on state roads. All three provisions were removed from the Senate version. In the House bill, the rail development and noise wall provisions were removed. The League will continue to watch this bill. The League encourages cities to adopt a resolution supporting common sense pension reform that safeguard local pensions and protect taxpayers. Draft resolutions are available on the League's website in the Pension Reform Toolkit. If your city develops a position on the pension reform bills, please provide this information to Craig Kahn via email at kcon@flcities.com. For additional information on municipal issues, call the League office, read the legislative bulletin, or visit our website at www.flcities.com. Thank you for tuning in to this edition of FLC Live at the Capitol. Remember, successful advocacy starts with you.